Hello, everybody. We have some issues with the DLC. The goal of this video is to compile as many bugs as possible in the comments below, and including the ones on the list that I'm about to show you. So please, if you have experienced any bugs, leave a detailed description of what you encountered. It doesn't have to be perfect, just make it obvious as to what happened. And please leave the platform that you are playing on. PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, whatever you're playing on, just leave the platform as well. The goal is to then make a new list and send that one over to Gearbox as soon as possible so they are well aware of the major bugs that are plaguing the game right now, because there are a couple. Speaking of which, let me start with a pretty funny one just to set the stage. So this is the loader, obviously. And just look. This is stage 1 with no items. So obviously you're not supposed to be able to move that fast on stage 1. That is just one of the many bugs. So now I'll read off of a list that was compiled by other community members such as Race, Raydance, a few other guys as well. Shout out to the boys, thank you very much. This is not a comprehensive list. This is just simply what we all have discovered thus far. Again, we want you guys to leave comments and tell us what you guys have experienced so we can then send an even bigger list to Gearbox. Let's get started. Opening the logbook in the game resets your audio. Boss imp needles cannot hit you while you're on the ground. The vagrant orbs cannot be destroyed. Those are the heat-seeking ones. The aspect drop rate is multiplied by 100 times. The aspects are the super rare drops that drop from elite enemies that turn you into that elite enemy. And when you pick them up, they break your game, interactable skills, and delete your items when taken to a new stage. Aspects are also duping items, giving you 1,000 stacks or more. Some people in my stream yesterday were like, yo, what's happening? I'm on stage 2 and I have 1,000 gasoline. That's why. The audio engine is kind of crunchy. Sounds like cables are being pulled in and out. Blinding Assault on the Mercenary does not give you extra dashes, which is his dash ability. Kind of bad. Accurate Leap does not collide with enemies. Also kind of bad. The loader grapple is tied to your FPS, which is what you just saw. With her M1 is angled now downwards, so it's probably harder to hit stuff. The revive on the Seeker is broken. It does not work properly, and sometimes with a massive delay. Trimps are lessened. Trimp is just like when you jump off of a slight incline and you go super high in the air if you have a wax quail, a head stomper, etc. Items do not have outlines in shops. I'm sure everyone's seen that. Self-reviving with the Seeker now shows the death screen over your gameplay, but you can still walk around. I am not quite sure what they mean by self-reviving here, because as far as I know, you can't use your special to revive yourself because you're already dead. So maybe they're talking about like with a Dio's best friend or something. I'll have to probably confirm that. You can fall through the floor when you spawn into a stage. This happened to me a handful of times before this patch. However, it seems like it's more common now. Enemies now teleport through the ground. Void infestors shoot sideways out of the void cradles. This is super annoying if you guys have opened up a single one of these void things. Normally the guys shoot up in the air and then they come back down, giving you a chance to kill them while they're airborne. Now they just shoot like straight off to the side and they just start running. Very annoying. Rally Point Delta crate is now closed with nodes and sides, which can cause a soft lock. All this means is that the crates, the big old shipping crates on Rally Point Delta, can have stuff in them while they're closed, so you can't access them, and that stuff can include the teleporter. So have fun. Speaking of nodes, the enemy AI are not following the node graphs correctly. That's kind of when you see enemies out in the distance just like wandering around, not really searching for stuff. That's what it means by that. Animation breaking and stuttering. I mean, I've seen a bunch of that stuff too. The Golem laser aim is broken. I don't quite know what that means. I haven't seen that just yet. You can't run or jump while you're tabbed, so while you're looking at your items, your inventory or something. Scavs can soft lock you. Don't quite know what that means, but it's there. You can respawn as a ghost player that can only use equipment. That's pretty funny. The Seeker utility glitches out when touching enemies. If you've used her Sojourn, the little ball attack, and you go flying around, and you touch something, your screen like starts freaking out. Every single time. It's pretty funny. The Railgunner mine now destroys the pots. So usually just would launch them across the stage. That's kind of bad. The beacon texture in the gold portal was broken, just kind of like the item highlight being broken as well. The gold portal does not spawn a green portal if you're at stage 5. In all other stages it does, so we don't know if this is a bug or what's going on there. You can't look up as far as you used to. The monsters, everyone has kind of like a bugged HP bar where it like slowly recovers back up, especially on the enemies. It can be quite annoying. You'll think you killed them, but it's just like the HP bar like still trickling down a little bit. I don't know. This one's been really weird for me too. When you get hit by stuff, you sometimes don't have a sound effect for that. The Warped Echo sometimes double the damage that you received. So that's the new item that halves the damage and then deals the other half back to you after 3 seconds. Sometimes it deals 100% upfront and then 100% again after 3 seconds. The guaranteed legendary chest on some of the new variant maps is not there. Chef's M2 has a very long global cooldown. I noticed this when I was playing him. You are basically locked out of all your other abilities at the end of the cast for like a second and a half sometimes. It's pretty bad. The incorrect music is playing in the Lunar Bazaar. Chests can now send your items off of the edge again. Apparently Hopu fixed this and then left it in for the printers, but now all your items can go off the edge again. All the positions of like the followable items on your character, like Soulbound Catalyst, where they kind of just like, you know, hover around you, are shifted or rotated. Mithrix apparently can break your entire special ability when he steals your items. You can shoot yourself in the back of the head with Artificer Ice Spear. That's... what? The Mithrix Pizza audio is desynced, and that's just his attack where he's, you know, kneeling on the ground and the big revolving doors are like blowing up around you in rotation. Yeah, the audio gets desynced from that, and I think the animation's also a bit wonky sometimes from what I've noticed. If you're playing co-op, you can sometimes double activate your skills. Mithrix and False Sun's movesets are tied to their FPS, so if you're on lower FPS, they're gonna be wonky. And finally, and probably the most relevant to all of us, mod architecture is too broken fundamentally to develop on now for a lot of people. I've heard a lot of mod developers are just not bothering. There's actually a down patch version of the game, so not using the current Seekers of the Storm patch that they're going to develop on instead, or a lot of people are just straight up saying, hey, I'm just not going to bother now. That's kind of bad. I don't think I have to speak to why that would be kind of bad for the future of Risk of Rain 2. Mods are a pretty integral part to the game. Console boys, I know you haven't experienced it, but at least on the PC end, mods are pretty integral. So people not wanting to develop on it now, not very good. All right, anyway, I want to keep this video short as possible. Again, leave comments below on what you have experienced, and please include the platform that you're on. We really want the game to be in the best state as possible. I won't speak to the actual quality of the DLC. I'll still have to experience it a little more. We're only at the start of day 2 here. So we'll see what happens, boys, but I really hope that we can get things ironed out in a quick fashion. Thank you guys for watching.